what do you make of it? Did you see the game last night?
Yeah, I did. I watched it, and I
Right.
must say, I thought PSG were excellent in the sense that they do this possession game, rather like say Man City and lots of other teams now try to copy that as well.
Hmm.
But they are so good at it, and one of the differences with other teams who play possession football is their speed. That they keep the ball in nice little tight triangles and things like that, but they do it quickly. They don't sort of do it at a slow pace. I mean, I think as the game went on, it did slow down a bit, to be fair,
Yeah.
especially as they were one goal up. But sometimes in the Premier League, you see teams playing this possession game where the back defenders, the back four, particularly the central defenders, they'll just come to a stop and wait for something to happen, almost beckoning the opposition to come at them, a bit like the goalies sometimes do now. And I
Yeah.
think that type of possession football, I have to say, I find it boring, where, it's going across the back and then up the side and back again. And there's no speed or, great will to get forward. But I thought with PSG, they played that tight, short passing possession game to perfection because they also did it very quickly, and they were so skillful and accurate that they were getting through and probably could have scored more goals. So I thought they were very good to watch for the most part. Arsenal, I thought, played okay, but again, they didn't really have the answers to that possession game, and maybe they weren't quite up to their usual standard. I mean, a week ago, you may remember Palace drew with Arsenal at Arsenal 2-2, I think it was, in the league. And they were okay then, but not the Arsenal we have seen. So maybe
Hmm.
they're not really on their game so much this year. I don't know. It will be a
Yeah.
very interesting game next week, the second leg on Wednesday, I think, next week, um, actually in Paris. And again, we think, oh, well, PSG have done the hard bit, they'll walk through it. But it doesn't always work like that, as
No,
Arsenal
it doesn't.
proved on this cup run. So
Yeah.
they could turn it round. On balance, I suspect they won't, which is a shame because I thought maybe they might actually end up winning the Champions League, and they still could. But I think to go over there to a team like PSG,
Yeah.
who are already leading, is going to be a very tough ask of Arsenal. But yeah, I quite enjoyed watching the game. I did
Mm.
think Arsenal would eventually equalise, but it was not to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what happened, but I quite liked Declan Rice's game. He played really well
Mm.
last night. And funny enough, I looked at the stats after the first half. So there was a stats after first half, and Arsenal actually had more. They played more corners. They played more shots at goal.
On target,
Uh,
yeah,
on
yeah.
on target, they had more. They had 8 against
Mm.
4. So I looked at it and I thought, yeah, they're gonna do it second half. But it wasn't meant to be. Yeah,
No.
I was quite rooting. I was rooting for Arsenal. I was saying, well, we want an English team to win it this year, don't we? And I thought, well, I don't like Arsenal anyway. Um, but some strange reason, some strange
You have
reason.
you have a list of teams you don't like, don't you?
Yeah, I have. Well, Arsenal's probably top on the list, and I'll tell you why. My younger
Really,
brother,
really.
yeah, my younger brother is an Arsenal fan, and they're just cocky. And then I have two mates that are Arsenal fan, and they just, yap, 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 yap all the time. And they've put me off Arsenal. So anytime I see them,
Yeah.
I want to sort of wind them up, my brother included. I just want to wind them up. My brother included. I just want to wind them up. I want to say, you lost. So when they win, I don't like it. But as a
Wh-
friend,
Why
they
did
banter.
why does your younger brother support them? Does he live that way or what?
I don't know. It's always been since we were little. It's always been an Arsenal fan.
Mm.
It's just it's just so we've always had that banter where whenever Arsenal's winning, he goes, "Yep, I told you," and then when Manchester United's losing, it just proper rubs it in my face. And I think that's where and my little boy is an Arsenal fan as well. He's supposed to be Tottenham. But it's not. It's just Arsenal. I'm like, what's wrong with everybody that's close to me wants to be an Arsenal fan. Thank God my mom is.
How old is your little boy?
He's 17 now. He's no longer
17.
little.
Not so little, no.
Not so little. Yeah, not so little anymore. So,
but he's an Arsenal fan, right?
He's an Arsenal fan. So and he just won't shop about it. So it's made me take him to Arsenal to get him some of the Arsenal, memorabilia, and I said I don't particularly want to go with you, but he goes, but you have to come with me, Daddy. All right, so that's why I don't like Arsenal. The rest of the other teams like Manchester City and Liverpool is just because they're just close rivals. I don't like close rivals, so it's quite a lot that I don't like. Talking about close rivals, Liverpool. They did it, and they did it in a spectacular fashion, didn't they?
In style,
in style, and I hate to say this, but I was happy for them. I was just happy for them. I don't particularly like Liverpool, but I was on this occasion. I was like, yeah, go on, yeah, good on you. So what did you make of it? Liverpool finally winning it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all known they were going to win it for quite a long time because they've been a fair way ahead of Arsenal mainly, and Arsenal were dropping too many points along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm quite pleased. A lot of fans, I think, for some reason, don't like Liverpool. I don't know whether it goes back a few years when they kept winning everything. I don't know, but they hadn't actually won the league. They did win it in 2020, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
The COVID year, so they couldn't really celebrate, which was a shame. And of course, that's when Klopp won it with them. I think really a lot of us have said, me included, that Slot has had an easy time of it because he simply inherited